Hi, I'm Mitch Mitchell, and it's about time I did a video. The last video I did was a couple weeks ago, and I was not a happy camper then. I'm a little happier now because I have taken some steps to become more happy. You know, the last video I talked about why people were still mad after the election, and people are still mad. I mean, my goodness, they're still mad. And they have a right to be because they just do. I mean, you know, when people are mad and they want to protest and they want to do stuff, they have a right. So let them go at it. But I also ended that piece talking about it's time for peace. It's time to get some happiness in my life, and time for a lot of other people to think about getting a little bit more happiness in their lives. And one of the things that you do when you're trying to find happiness is you start to remove some things from your life that aren't bringing you happiness anymore. The stuff that's bringing you down. In the last video, I talked about not caring over the next 4 years. What happens? Not going to watch the news. Don't want to hear any headlines. Don't want to know what's going on. I don't care unless it's specific to my life. And I've had some people say, well, you can't just leave life. I mean, life is still going to happen, and you can't, you have to always fight the good fight. And I'm thinking, no, I don't. No, I don't. I have my fight. My fight is racism. That's really my major fight. Other than that, I'm not necessarily much of a fighter. I've never really been all that political. There's stuff I don't like, but it's always been related to, well, race. It just has. So I've never really been political. I'm not religious. I don't like people who just hate other people for, well, their religion or really their politics. But I don't hate people for their politics, but I'll tell you the truth. I don't want to hear it all. I don't want to hear it from the people who disagree with me. I don't really want to hear it all that much from people I agree with, because some of those people take it too far. To that extent, I said that I'd been removing some things, and I have. And it's been interesting doing it because I decided to start with Facebook. So some weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago, as a matter of fact, it was just pretty much a couple of days after election, after I decided not to leave social media, I went through every single person I was connected to, and I changed the status of an overwhelming majority of those people, from friends to acquaintances. And the reason I did that is because I don't want to see their stuff in my feed. I just don't. Now, I also changed it on a lot of people I'm connected to who I'm like, okay, why am I connected to these people? And I know why. There's this game called Empire Cred. It used to be called something else. And basically, it's kind of a social media stock market game. So you connect to those people, and then it supposedly raises your influence, and you can make more fake money. They call them Eves, but I just call it fake money. And there's a lot of these people I'm connected to who I've never talked to, never said a word to. They've never said a word to me. So I started limiting all those people to acquaintances. Still connected to them, but other than that, they're not going to see anything I put up, and I'm not going to see anything they put up. And I'm good with that. I really am. I don't need all those people. I mean, I just don't. The business page is a different story. I actually have a business Facebook page. But in general, I just didn't need all that extraneous stuff, because what you find out on Facebook is that it's not necessarily the people you're connected to. It's the people they're connected to. And if they like to harbor all those people putting stuff in that is irritating you and you're still following it, you know what? That's on you. Well, it's not on me. All that is gone. Then I went to Twitter. And Twitter, I had to do a different thing. I basically had to mute a lot of people that I like, that I agree with, because they're just hammering. They're just overdoing it. I mean, like I said, if you want to be angry, fine. It's still be angry. But let's not start getting a bit ridiculous. I mean, that man isn't even in office yet. Y'all have just lost your minds. And frankly, that's a little bit too intense. I don't want to see it. So I've had to mute a bunch of people. I haven't deleted any of those people or removed any of those people, but I muted them, which basically says I'm not going to see anything from them. And then, for my luck, Twitter created this thing where you can mute words. There's certain words you can totally mute. Well, that was perfect, because I muted that man. I muted a couple of other people. I muted topics that I really didn't want to see, those specific words. Oh my goodness, I can't believe how much better my Twitter feed has been. Now, it's not perfect. But what's been interesting is every once in a while someone will retweet something that someone else said using one of those words. Well, what ends up happening is I will see the retweet person, but I will see nothing from the other person. Matter of fact, it won't even show you who originally said something. Wow, that's kind of neat. So I'm blocking that. Then I went to LinkedIn. And there's a lot of people. You know, I was one of the first 600,000 people to join LinkedIn. And that sounds really weird because that's, you know, seems like a high number. But I got a letter from LinkedIn thanking me for that. So I've been with LinkedIn a good long time. And I was connected to a ton of people who I really didn't know. And as I'm looking to possibly do a reinvention of my business and my career and look at the things that I think are more important and how I want to make money, I decided it's time to delete. Totally delete. Because you can't mute anyone on LinkedIn. Even though they want to be Facebook, they're not quite Facebook yet. So you can't do any of that kind of stuff. So basically, I did a cull. And I got rid of over 200 people. And I'm going to be doing it again because I just took, you know, certain folks right off the bat who I knew why they connected with me because they were hoping I would sell for them. I don't know if that happens to anyone else who's on LinkedIn, but it happens to me all the time. I will connect with someone. I mean, there's almost nobody who I ask to connect to first, unless I personally know them and just found out they're on LinkedIn. But people will connect with me, and they've been in my field, which is mainly healthcare. So I would connect with them. Next thing I know, I'm getting these messages. Oh, I'd like to have a business proposal. I know what the business proposal is. They want me to sell for them, and they say, oh, well, we'll give you a percentage. How am I working my business if I'm marketing you? Not going to happen. And that's just a major thing. So I went in and I deleted a lot of those people. And I've been getting a lot more requests from other people who are in those same businesses. And I'm not connecting with any of them. And I'm going to go back because now I started with my healthcare industry. Those of you who don't know, I'm a healthcare finance consultant. So I got rid of a lot of those people. I got rid of some other healthcare people. I got rid of some people who I said, okay, I don't really know what you do. I don't know. I probably connected with them a long time ago on LinkedIn because pretty much like everyone else, when you're first on social media, you just accept everyone. You don't know. You haven't really thought much about it. And back in 2006, 2007, there wasn't like a script for making decisions as to who you connect with or not. It was just a numbers game. So I dropped a lot of those people. Then I went to Google Plus and I realized, you know, Google Plus, there's no point in doing it. You almost never see any of that stuff. Google Plus is an odd duck. I love it because it's visually stunning when people put up images. But other than that, there's really no tracking a stream. It is really difficult. And I've never been able to get anybody in any kind of conversation except maybe like one sentence here and there. So no sense dealing with anything there. And there's no sense in dealing with anything on YouTube, really. I mean, I think the folks here who have subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. But there's no need to delete anybody. I mean, basically, I think there's only one person I know, maybe two people, whose, I'll say, politics are different than mine. Their demeanors are different than mine. And I almost never see anything that they put up. They never comment on my stuff. And so, you know, I used to talk more with them back some time ago, but now it is what it is. That's pretty much how things work sometimes. You know, it's one of those things where I subscribe to certain people and then they just stop making videos. So, you know, that's that life. But that's what I did with social media. Now, I mentioned in the last video that I was also going to eliminate news. So what I've done is I had different news sites I used to go to, including my local news and a local TV station. Got rid of all of them, took them all off my browser, removed them from Twitter. That includes CNN, just totally gone. Then I use Flipboard, and I love Flipboard for all kinds of things. But there's the one main category that had all these news sources. The first thing I did was totally delete news. But it doesn't mean you won't see a news source because every once in a while it comes in under a different category. So as certain websites have come up with their articles that someone else has shared, I've been deleting those websites. The Washington Post, gone. New York Times, gone. CNN pops up again, gone. Seattle Times, gone. I've just been eliminating these different websites. Anytime, okay, I'll say it again, that man's name shows up in an article and I see it's for a news site, gone. Anything talking about cabinet members or any other stupid stuff, whatever, that I really don't care about, gone. And my Flipboard is so much nicer now. And I am at a bit more peace. And I need more peace. I've got some issues going on in my family life that are really interesting with my mother and such. And, you know, it's offering me enough pressure as it is without having to deal with all this outside stuff. So this has really been an interesting time for me. This is something I've never done. I've always thought that I needed to know everything that was going on and I needed to keep up with it. And I'm finding that in general I don't have to. I still see things. I mean, obviously I saw the other day when Florence Henderson passed away, and for, you know, a lot of you young people, you have no idea. But Florence Henderson was on the Brady Bunch, which was a big show when I was a kid, and she was a singer before that. I used to see her on the Lawrence Welk Show. Don't be bashing the Lawrence Welk Show. Go ahead and bash the Lawrence Welk Show. But she was on that show, and she did some other things. And I keep up, you know, different things like that. You see an R.I.P. I mean, Ron Glass, who was a star in Barney Miller, he passed away as well. So I'm not totally missing everything. I mean, my goodness, how could I stay away from this news about Kanye West having a major meltdown on stage? That's just what it is. So I'm not totally missing everything, but I'm seeing a lot less of it. And I can deal with the little bits that come through here and there. Now all I need is for my Syracuse football team to get better next year, for my Syracuse basketball team to remember how they were playing early in the season, because tonight they lost their second game in a row, and for the Dallas Cowboys to keep winning as they've won 10 in a row so far. Oh, thank you, Dallas Cowboys, for having a real season. That's what I got. So there will still be videos. I didn't get to do the review for Fantastic Beasts. Right now I'm thinking it's probably too late, but I did see it. I liked it. Had some issues here and there, but overall I liked it. But I'm not going to go back to that. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make sure I keep up with at least one video a week. I want to try to slip in a second one. I want to talk a bit more about the things I'm really interested in, which is blogging and social media and writing and all this other stuff. And I want to be more of a source of education and entertainment. I don't want to fuss as much. And every once in a while, you're going to still get a fussing. Matter of fact, I'm going to be fussing in a video I'm going to do on my business channel because I've got a major fuss to talk about there. But that's for the business channel. Anyway, I'm Mitch Mitchell. Let me know what you think. I hope you're having a wonderful week. Y'all take care.